Okay, people, I am apologizing. I don't know. My time got away from me tonight. So I know it said I was supposed to do it at 8. I had it for 9 to talk about sexuality and all that good stuff. I don't know what's going on, but it's Saturday. And I wanted to read you guys something on my thing that was like really cool to make you think about something, some things that's going on. So let me see. Um, I just want to say welcome. So I know this is my fault. All right, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Don't know, but I ain't gonna worry about it. Um, I had something, and I wanted to read you from it. Let's see. And I want you to think about it. It's a poster on it. Now, any other time, let's see. Let me see if I can go in there. Nope, not gonna let me go in. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Let's see about tonight. Hold on, good fellow friends. It's very important that I read this comment. Let me see. I know that you can see me. Nope, that's not it. Go back. I tell you. Nope. Jesus. This is there we go. I'm sorry. Tell you, you get to see all the things in my room and all that other good stuff that's going on. Like, who does that? Only me, right? Me. Me. That's who does it. Okay. Don't know who's on. And that's something I wanted to say. And I was reading. Let's see. Um, I always got pictures and stuff. And when I want it, I want y'all to know or ask you a question. How do you start your day? And what makes you, I'm going to type this in. Um, okay. How to start your day? I don't know what the heck is going on, so it's all good. Mm, it's all good. It's all good. I don't know. It's like why life is it is, but in a way I do. This is the game that we play in life, and it helps us get to a better place. And I wanted to talk about sex and the spiritual connection we get and the understanding we get when we don't allow ourselves the freedom to be connected sexually and spiritually with the person we with is doing nothing but skin to skin, and it's not helping you or the person that you're with. So when you are actually opening your body up, you're opening your body up not only spiritually but mentally, physically, emotionally, and it plays a very important role on how you do things, how you see things, if you will. It brings you closer than you ever been to death. That's why people talk about life and death when you're having sex, because you die a little bit. Like you leave an essence of yourself behind when you're actually partaking of that. And why is that? Why are we so happy about? I'm trying. It's like I can't find any of my quotes and all that good stuff. And I don't. Hmm. I'm telling you. I don't know what today is about today. Do you have any questions? I've had many people on my show, and I didn't even call in. So what I also might do tonight is, because it's out there on, actually on the East Coast, is after midnight, and I didn't start my show. I was really late, and that's not like me. But it is. It is. I was in a relaxing mood, and that's it. So let's talk why sex can be thought as a um, deviant behavior. We, okay, I should say we, the West or the U.S. have a tendency of to paint sex as bad and immortal and wrong and make you feel guilty, like the Catholic priests talk about sex, and if you masturbate, you're going to hell. It's a sin. The other religions talk about men should not masturbate because they're wasting a seed, and the seed is for procreation. You see, it's like always mechanical or connected to. It's not nothing spiritual like you build up to, you can hold on to, that you can actually create things with your seed in that act of building up from masturbating or sexual pleasure with your partner. It's building up and connecting, and that vortex of energy rising with you, the Kundalini energy with you, and up and out and expanding. So that in itself can cause a problem with some people, and their belief system that they put it on other people make them feel bad about having sex and wanting to try different things, and not understanding that sex is your God-given right. Your right to move how you want to move, your right to be entertained, your right to enjoy the act of love with yourself, the act of joy, that joy of having a partner, of entertaining with you, to engage in the act of pleasuring yourself. And that also can bring in magic. And how do we bring in magic? What is magic like? What does it look like? How do we bring that into next level stuff, we say? Um, we meditate and say different mantras, if you will, different chants, if you will, of things, of bringing things for you. Like if you want finances, you want money, you say some things to get rid of things by saying words and realizing you saying these words over and over in your psyche and changing them in your actions, that you begin to vibrate at different levels as you're doing that. So when you're working with a partner and someone that understands is coming to you from a spiritual sense of you're connecting and sharing energy, you can actually manifest together and build on that in your physical environment with that energy because it feeds from it. So when you feed from it, it attracts all those different things around you. And things meaning houses, cars, food, people. It's being drawn because you're working at that energy, at that frequency, at that vibration with the sexual act. Now, when you suppress that and not feeling love, not feeling cared for, what that can do to your body, it can start really physically shutting down. The act of not feeling love, not feeling self worth, it actually shuts different organs down in different parts of your body physically because emotionally damaged. And where you hold that as a woman as well as a man is in your womb. And men's like they don't have a womb, but they do. Their prostate is their womb. That's how they digest. That's how they hold emotion and strength and unstrength and disappointment in their prostate. Women, same thing, your womb, where your womb is for creative and bringing forth and bringing that energy, bringing that life. That is what your womb is used for, as also giving birth. Because when you give birth and produce not only art and children, but thoughts and poetry and songs and art and books and different things in the world you provide out of your womb. Men, you do the same thing. You sing, you create, you're building stuff, you're doing art, you're racing, that is things that is your art that you're doing, you're providing. Singing opera and singing at all is a beautiful thing. That's creating and releasing that energy out there and that you create from. But when you are not creating and being loved in that way, then that is the thing that affects your libido. When you're beat down in life and someone tells you you're not, don't pass go, don't do this, don't do that, then guess what happens? That is a red flag. It stops and it slows down and it suppresses that energy. When you're sad and you've just been so beaten down, man, you don't want to do anything. You try to get it up, it go it won't get up. You stay in that part until you learn to heal the trauma that was going on to make you feel that. Same thing with women. Like I said before, sometimes we think it's a punishment to be a woman. Sometimes men think it's a punishment to be a man. But it's not. Because, like I said, you chose this specimen to be in, whether it's a man or a woman in this life. Okay? Let's get that out the way right away. Then let's talk about not only how you can free yourself, how you can open yourself, what can you do by doing pelvic lifts, not only women but men too. That strengthens the prostate, it strengthens the women, it strengthens by you doing that, it strengthens the vagina, the yoni, all of that. You're bringing love and energy into that by doing those different types of exercises, types of movements. Belly dancing is, moving your hips. And as you're moving your hips, it makes it, just like a rocking motion. I know I'm probably moving the camera too much. It's a rocking motion. And that rocking motion actually brings in that wonderful, fierce, creative, loving energy. And you take that energy and it rises and it starts creating from your root chakra. All it do is just take moving your feet and you go into action with that. And the men, you think you're creating, what do? You just move your hips by doing salsa or waltz or classical dancing. Or even some men actually play ballet. And the ballet gives the men different, I want to say, good balance. Good balance. Hello. Good balance for the men to actually have, if you will. Shoot. It don't want to stay today. Of course not. That's all right. I'll figure something out. So, will it stay if I do that? Let me see. I don't know. We're just gonna do it like that. So, that is another thing to do that you can do. So, my thing is how you are taught as you're younger, even to your older, the practice of sex and how you feel about the practice of sex actually affects how you view sex as an adult. If you taught that it's a sin, it was not nothing great about it, then guess what? You will not enjoy sex. It'll be a chore or something that women you gotta do because this is your duty. You're obligated. It becomes a chore. But women, I want you to know as you get to really know your body and understand your body, and just something as simple touching from yourself from head to toe, really know your body. There was a exercise that I had to learn to do in order to become a sacred woman. And that was one thing is looking at my yoni and the lips and understanding what the yoni look like and appreciating and loving and taking care of it and actually talking to it. Men, same thing with you, the grooming. Is it looking like a grizzly wall bear down there? Are you taking the time to actually not only wash and pull the skin back, but to oil it and brush it and keep it in good care and actually nourish it? As you're washing and rubbing, giving it the love and sending it nothing but loving energy as you're doing that. That starts with a great foundation if you're able to do that. And it helps. It totally rocks and helps that you can sit in that energy as a male and a female and appreciate it. But when you get together with your sister friends or your male friends, is it something to haggle with? Is it something of a content? Or is it something that is a joke? Or is it something that you guys talk about and it's friendly and it's special and it's understanding and it's loving? That actually affects your body when you're actually having sex. These things, when we have disorder, affects our body for sex, that it harms our body physically, as I said. Now, let's talk about some of the things that um, I've been seeing of late, like um, adults actually having sex with children. That, I don't care what form it was, it's not nice. I had someone tell me that we Americans are uptight about having sex. They do it in India, they do it in Greece, they do it in Rome. That is, I don't care what it is. My belief is I don't think a child um, that is 18 and under really should be partaking of sex with anybody because their body, number one, is not mature enough to accept that kind of vibration from the person they're sleeping with. And number two, they're physically not up to taking that person to engage into intercourse with, male or female. It takes your mind to develop to be ready to actually have intercourse, and it needs to be prepared properly. But this is the new wave, the pedophile thing. It's no big deal. Like, they've been doing it for ages. It's in the news with the Boy Scouts, with the Catholic priests. But not only that, let's even look at it this way. The nuns were not created. This is one I probably people don't know. Nuns were not created to actually just be Christ's bride. They were created for the fathers, the priests that were in the church, the deposit. And there was a lot going on in certain places. In the Catholic Church, the priests were actually having sex with the nuns and the habits and the mothers, whatever. in a nunnery that they were actually getting pregnant and actually killing the children, also doing other things with the children when they were actually having sex. Not cool, man, not cool. But that was in the Catholic Church. And how they kept it quiet is that you hush, don't tell. So then they start messing with the altar boys. But let me give you something on to even make you think about this, like really something. Women, we wear these heels, right? Did you know the heels were not even created for you? Do you know the heels were created for actually for little page boys? You know why they were created for little page boys? It gave the Lord easy access to the page boys. So this is not something new. We're thinking, oh, no, no, no. They've been doing this for quite some time. These different entities of having a fetish for little boys, not men, but little boys. And that is not, for in my eyes, appropriate. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm judging, but I don't think an adult should be having sex with a minor because their mind and their body is not ready for that responsibility to take all of that energy on and take all that responsibility and all the connections. Because when you actually laid with someone, every person that person has laid with, you begin to lay with, and that energy transmutes through them and it transmutes it into you. And you can get sick, you can get not just from that of those diseases, but the emotional diseases, the emotional baggage that comes from entertaining with the person and their life, and your life becomes entangled together from having intercourse together. So, I just wanted you to know that some things about these sexual encounters. So, why would you put that if our mind cannot handle it? Why would you put that on a child? But that's going beyond. So let's talk about how certain chants and certain movements can get the body moving. There's certain chants, certain meditation that actually can help move the blockage of energy and have it actually rise and go above and out to the ether to your higher conscious self by doing certain activities and certain exercises and saying certain chants. When you're doing a fire breath, has anybody ever done a fire breath? It releases a lot and you hyperventilate, and there's different ways that you go about doing that. So there's a way to balance that energy, and it does a clearing when you're doing fire breaths. So that's another way. Meditation. Meditation is clearing out a lot of garbage. But the act of learning sacred sexuality and what it stands for, and doing chakra to chakra work, and doing different movements and aligning energy with the person you with, it does a lot. Not only you're basically preparing the body before it even gets started to actually being able to engage into sex with your partner that you're with. It becomes like a ceremony. It becomes wonderful. It's a building port. That's what I love about the different things about sex. And it opens you up. It opens your mind. It opens your chakras. It opens you in so many different levels, not only physically, spiritually, and mentally. It opens you up. But when you're doing it with the right person, it opens you up in a beautiful way. And like I said, you're like a lotus, and it's like you're sitting here, and as a lotus, it blossoms. Out of the ugliness, it blossoms and blossoms into something beautiful. That's what I like about. Let's talk about um, how to incorporate different tools that people use. I think we talked about the Sebian. There's wands, there's vibrators, there's what is it, anal plugs. There's different things that people do, they get involved with and they experiment with. um there's different places that people can actually go to and actually get taught. There's actually dungeons that some people can go and learn about BDSM and sexual play. That's master and slave. That is Dr. Mother. They do cosplay where they're interacting in that way of maybe being tied up. Some people might have a fantasy of being tied up. Some people might have a fantasy of basically um, latex play. Some people might have a fantasy of actually getting their diaper changed. This is all related in the BDSM of some people like humiliation, where they're changed. Hello, love. There is so many different interactions where some people didn't get a chance to go through, and this is where it comes in very healthy. I want to say there are some adults that didn't get a chance to grow up, or they had to grow up quickly and never got to be their child, and their child shield or their child self is stuck in them, and that needs to be taken care of. So they might have to revert back into that shield to actually grow up and get do the healing work from there. You know what I mean? They have to do the healing work from there. So that's another way that BDSM might help a person and get that together of learning and going back. You might actually want to do some past life regression and figure out if there's something in your past that is blocking you or something that you're not able to function in your life. That can be done too. And that has nothing to do with sex at this point, but it might be a drama that you've lived that you need to fix. So those, those are some things I want to say that can be thought about and taught about. So it's pretty cool when you look at it. These different things. There are some people that actually enjoy going to orgies because it frees them the responsibility, having sex. No one cares. Um, so it's fine. A swinger session. Swingers can be a couple of ways. Swingers can go where there is a multitude of people tuned in a room or whatever, or it can be a couple swap, wife on wife swap, or husband and wife swap, or group, whatever it is. It's a swap, and they both sit down and understand what's great for them and what's not great for them, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Now, this, like I said, can be very healing to someone that maybe this person got married when they're young, right? So they've never had the chance to experience anything from their partner and they don't know anything. But when they were a little boy, they played or watched a porno magazine or seen a porno, and that's what they visioned. But their wife was not taught or given any information, and she doesn't understand. So he's saying, I want this. So this might be her way of being able to learn to please her husband. But then again, that's where a sexologist comes in, a sex therapist comes in, and help them be able to relate and build healthy relationships. Not as just swinging, because, like I said, you got to remember every time you lay with somebody, you bring their energy into your energy field. And that's something you want to think about. Why are you entertaining and bringing that person in your energy field? And can you clear the people that you've had sex off? That's something that is very important. Clearing yourself from anybody that you've had sex for to be ready for your next relationship. You know what I mean? You see how this plays out? So getting back to the swingers, getting back to the orgies, there's another thing where there's a community. They live in a community and everybody is actually having um, sex, if you will, with one another. And they made an agreement to actually have sex with one another. You know what I mean? That in itself is pretty awesome. So I'm trying to look where it is. I hear it. Um, that's pretty cool too. I don't know, but that's okay. It'll just have to be. So when you enter a relationship of poly, of more, y'all living together, or community, or triad. A triad is a people of three. A community, a quad could be just they live in a home and they share their expensive, and they come together, or they might even all live separate. There's different ways that this can go. It can be for religious reasons. Women can do it as well as men. But the one that the West have been seeing and seems so fascinated by is that the men are doing it here in America, and they have several different women. And that plays a part on a woman's psyche, because if they're not given the proper treatment or the proper counseling to go in such a relationship, it affects the relationship. If they don't sit down and talk about the boundaries and have these boundaries lines, what is acceptable, what is not, what does it look like, if they don't do this, then it's going to crash and burn, and someone's going to get hurt, and someone's going to be sad, and someone's going to feel away. You know what I mean? So this is uh, a way that also back in the day that the men would be able to have women and not lose land and get a lot of favor and dowry so they can build up. And then the women did the same thing so that they would not will lose their property. They would have many husbands and it would stay on the family. So the woman would marry not only the husband but the brother and the other brother or whoever, and they would share, and she would have children by them. That still goes on today in some villages, like I said over there, but it's something that needs to be worked out with all the parties involved to talk about it with. These are something, like I said, that can be done if done appropriately, because it can, and I believe it can be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life experience, um, if you're into that. And talking with someone, a counselor, would be awesome for you to sit down and know where your boundaries are in that relationship, and what you want, and what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. That is, like I said, very the caveat in that. And the finances, just because the man needs to have the finances to be able to support you in the lifestyle in which you're sustaining yourself to by being committed to this person. That is what any point. What do you each bring to the table? That's something that's a discussion that you need to have, from a monogamous relationship to a polyamorous relationship. What is the benefit of this polyamorous relationship, your triad or whatever? How do you see that working out? How do you see it going about? Um, and it's very important. Um, I'm just thinking, like, wow, it's hard for some men to wrap their heads around that a woman can have two men or three men, without being called a bad name, but it's easy for the world to wrap their mind around uh, men having a multitude of women and being a family, and that's okay. So, where is the equality and where is the strength in that? That's just the question. Where's the strength in that? So the thing is, what is taboo for you for sex? And how do you know what's taboo? What do you think about sex and what it should be like? Some people think that all sex is in missionary position. Some people think that it's just like, what the hey? It's there and you go and you make it. So I'm just saying. Ouch. Oh, Jesus, 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 baby Jesus, baby Jesus, baby Jesus. Woo! My ear is itching really bad. So someone has to say something. So, um, I don't know. I don't know. Anybody got any questions out there? Like I said, I'm kind of like really tired tonight, like dragging, but I'm sticking to my commitment. Even though I was running a little bit late today, and then I find out I thought I was supposed to be on 9 and it was on at 8, so I apologize for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions you want to know more about, because I also do counseling for people with a multitude of partners, and I hope to see you soon. I'm going to say good night and pleasant dreams, and we shall chat some more. Bye. See you tomorrow, Sunday meditation.